everyone, it's your friend Thinknoodles, and welcome to Ask Think episode number 116 for Monday, August 25th, 2014. Now, before we get to the questions, I asked you guys a question last week, and it was, what is your favorite Disney movie and why? And you guys surprised me. You guys came up with a lot of movies that I had kind of forgotten about or hadn't watched in a long time, and listening to you guys or reading what you guys had said and then listening to your reasons for it, it really made me think of the movies, and I really liked this question. So let's see. First of all, the Diamond Shuffle said favorite movie was Pocahontas because it was reminding us what humans used to think about other people with different skin colors and things like that. Of course, as I predicted, the most popular answer was Frozen, and there were a ton of funny different answers and also answers about about where it came from, how to do with the song, the Club Penguin party, how girls don't need a man to save you, and things like that. It was really a bunch of different reasons, which was cool because I thought that they would be all about the same, but no, you guys made it interesting as well. Another one that was popular was Mulan, and all had to do with her being a warrior and a woman again, and this seemed to be a big theme. And it made me think that that a lot of Disney movies are about that as well. So, I really didn't think about it until I saw all of these together. Again, with Brave, although watching me on her tablet, not sure if that's exactly in the movie anywhere that I remember anyway. Jesse Kwan said Lady and the Tramp, which is a very old Disney movie, so I'm surprised that some of you guys have even watched it before. The next couple of people said Tangled for, again, the reason that girls can be adventurers, and it was a great twist on Rapunzel. Another popular choice was The Little Mermaid, although I don't think I sound like Sebastian at all, so I don't know about Right Dog's answer there. Another very popular answer, but not as popular as Frozen, was Wreck-It Ralph. And yes, that was an incredible Disney movie. Really good. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely recommend it. One of my favorite Disney movies also. Another popular choice was The Lion King, which is an older Disney movie, but still a really great one. And then we get into the Pixar movies, and I'm including those because they are a part of Disney now. So you could kind of classify them as Disney movies, even though some of them were made before it was a part of Disney. And so there was, of course, Toy Story, and I loved what he said, that there are aliens from the Noodle Planet. Well, Pizza Planet, but it's just as good. A few people said Finding Nemo, and great movie, one of Pixar's best. Julesy CP chose The Jungle Book, which, again, another really old Disney movie that I'm surprised anyone even brought up, because there's so many new ones now you would forget, or I would expect that that they would be forgotten, but Disney movies are classics and they keep on going. Gunther P1 referenced a movie, and I don't think it's a Disney movie, but this was such an interesting comment. It was The Princess Bride, which, again, old movie, but one of my favorites from my childhood. So that tells you guys how long ago it was made. It was made before we even had TVs, or no, I'm just kidding. But no, it is a very old movie, but a very good one. And even though it's not a Disney movie, I had to include this comment. Random Ness stays true to their name and says, my favorite Disney movie is a Disney movie. I'm pretty sure. And then Dark Wizard 101 says, I really like the movie. The Real Thinknoodles, produced and animated by Disney. A guy named Justin lived in New York City with his pet dog Kopi, who were BFFs. One day Kopi was playing with her chew toy and summons the Noodle God, and the Noodle God goes up to Kopi and Justin and says, you are destined to be the greatest noodle eater there ever was. And you guys can read the rest of the plot, but I thought that was pretty creative. And the last two people, actually, with all of the answers you guys came up with, the last two people got it right. The correct answer was, and I'm just kidding, but it's my favorite Disney movie, is Lilo and Stitch. I love it, and Stuff by Mo gave a really good reason for it. It's because Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind. And this is my family, and it is small and broken, but still good. Yeah, still good. And I can just hear Stitch saying that, and I loved that movie. I loved it so much that I bought like all of the videos that came after, you know, because Lilo and Stitch was the only one that came out in theaters, but then they came out with like Lilo and Stitch 2, and then they had like another one, and they had all these add-ons. None were as good as the original, but definitely my favorite Disney movie. Now, before we get to the questions, I want to ask you another question for next week. And the 50th Thinks Lab is coming up this week, and I wanted to find out from you guys which Thinks Lab is your favorite. I guess I'll have to think of mine. I think I know which one it is already, but let me know what you guys think is your favorite Thinks Lab. Now, before we get to the questions, I want to remind you to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer next week. Remember, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this Ask Think are closed, go to the most recent Ask Think and ask your question there. Now, on to the questions, and the first one is the most common one, and there were like 50 plus on this video about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. And if you guys don't know what it is, I'm sure you do. I'm not even gonna explain it because I know everybody knows what this is. So, but because it's really spread over the last couple of weeks. My wife had been challenged a long time ago, or at the beginning of it, because she's in healthcare. And and then I was challenged, and since it was a challenge from family and friends, I did it as Justin. And I haven't done one as Thinknoodles, and I've seen so many of you guys challenge me to put it on my channel. So I don't know what to do about this. And other YouTubers and all of you guys, I mean, I've probably gotten challenged 100 times in the last 4 or 5 days. So I don't know exactly what to do. But I can't post the one that I did before because it has a lot of personal information in it, and you know, you really gotta be safe on the internet, guys. But we'll see. But I do know what it is, and yes, I've been challenged, and yes, I've done it, but not technically as Thinknoodles. Danielle Beta asks, what was the first video game you owned and why? The first video game I ever owned was Pac-Man. And why? Well, because Pac-Man was super popular and there really wasn't much else at the time. Sergio Ocampo asks, have you ever flown an airplane that stole your luggage before? Because that happened to me. Well, you know, I don't think it was the plane that stole your luggage. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think the plane stole your luggage. I think what either happened is somebody lost it or a person stole it. But I have lost luggage before, yes. Orange Ninja asks, how often do you check your YouTube notifications? Hardly ever. And here's why. If I go and click up there, it says like 100 or 99, I think. As soon as I click it and it shows me all the notifications, and then I come back 20 minutes later, it's back at 100. So checking it is kind of worthless because you just can't keep up. I mean, if I were to just check my YouTube notifications, I'd be checking them nonstop 24 hours a day and just barely be able to keep up. But what I do is, I was gonna say what I do, and I kept myself from saying it, and then I said it to tell you whatever. Okay, but what I do is I go into the most recent videos, most recent 3 or 4 or 5 videos, and I check the comments every day. That way I know that I'm reading more fresh comments from fresh videos and not getting all this older stuff from the YouTube notifications. The next person asks if I have any hobbies. Well, I think you meant hobbies. And yes, I do. I like to go scuba diving. I like to ski. Well, those are sports. I guess they're kind of hobbies. I don't know. But it's funny that you wrote hobbies because over the weekend, Kopi's, I guess, grandnephew, or anyway, just a related dog to her, is named Hobie. And he spent the night over the weekend. We had a sleepover. And so I did have a Hobie yesterday, but not today. Justin Moreno asks, is your second toe on your foot longer than the first toe or shorter? Mine is longer. So is mine. My second toe is longer than my first toe. Vassy X Games and CB33 asks, what type of coffee do you drink? And well, I guess 3 technically cappuccino, because I usually only drink espresso. I have an espresso machine at home, so I either make cappuccino, I make latte, iced latte, sometimes a small macchiato, and even just straight espresso. Lauren Wheeler asks, hey Vink, my family got a puppy like Kopi, and she will not stop biting me. Can you give me tips on how to make her stop biting me so much? Well, it comes with age. And like I said a couple of questions ago, we had Hobie over, and he is 1 year old. And so he's still a puppy, big puppy. He's as big as she is. And he did the same thing to me. I mean, he loves to chew on your hands and his leash and stuff. And I couldn't get him to stop. I tried everything, and I just couldn't get him to stop. And it made me remember that Kopi used to do the same thing when she was a puppy. And once she got older, she stopped. So it's really just age. Eleanor asks, think if you could rename Kopi and had to choose one of these names, what would you choose? Tootsie, Dorito, Sunset, Dandelion, or Goldenrod? If she gets a catch and name it Tootsie. Well, I probably would name... So, you know, those are actually really good names for golden retrievers because they're all gold-based, you know, color-wise, I guess. You know, Dandelion, well, Dandelion has... Well, I think when they're younger, they're white with... No, it's a daisy. Anyway, it's a cute name. Anyway, I would choose a Sunset because Goldenrod is really hard to say. Like, Goldenrod, bad dog. You know, it doesn't come off the tongue very well. And Dorito's cool. But Sunset would be a great name for a golden retriever, especially if it was like a darker color, like an orangey sunset. And yeah, that's what I would choose. Emmanuel42 asks, will you celebrate 350,000 subscribers? Well, not by starting a new series or new game or anything. I'm gonna wait till 400,000 for that. The reason too, because it's only been, I think, 5 weeks since I hit 300,000. So, it came really fast. It's unbelievable how fast it came. And I haven't even finished the t-shirt design for 300,000, and we're already up to 350,000, approaching 400,000. It's nuts. And so we're gonna wait till 400,000 to do a big celebration. XRealGamingX asks, do you have a pop filter? Yes, I do. I like to be very close to my microphone with my mouth, and if I didn't have a pop filter, it'd sound like this. And I don't know if you can hear me popping my peas, but you can probably hear it. And so then I put the pop filter back, and I can stay close to my microphone, and I actually backed off of the microphone just there when I moved the pop filter. But yeah, I do. 1999 Blue asks, do you have the OS X Yosemite beta? I signed up for it, but I'm reluctant to install it because I use this as my production system. And if I were to install it and certain things didn't work very well, like my recording program or my or anything, anything with a beta operating system, I wouldn't be able to make videos for you guys, and that would be terrible. Alan asks, hey Think, you haven't posted any Pop Tropica videos lately. Why is that? Well, I actually did. I think it was only 2 weeks ago that I did the most recent walkthrough. Yeah, was it? Maybe not. Oh yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. A little over 2 weeks ago. And no, I just make Pop Tropica videos whenever they put out an island because there's no replayability in the videos. Because, you know, I played through it, I know how to beat it. It won't be that interesting for you guys to watch, and I've already done the walkthrough, so there's no reason to replay the levels on my channel. Sheena1234ization says, Think, did you know Minecon is going to be in London near where I live? Yes, I saw the official announcement on Mojang's website, and I knew it was going to be in Europe. Well, actually, I knew it was going to be in London before they announced it, but it was really interesting that, or I guess, caught me off guard that it was not going to be in November, but I guess I kind of expected that a little bit because it's already almost September and they hadn't announced tickets or dates or anything like that yet, so doesn't come as a huge surprise to me. Wiki54321 asks, Think, what happened to Snapshot Adventures? Well, I kind of replaced them with my Thinks Lab series. You know, I started doing the Snapshot Adventures to insert a little bit of creativity and video. Well, actually, Snapshot Adventures weren't any video editing that I can think of. It was straight playthrough, but just to add a little bit of more excitement and storyline to the videos on my channels, or on my channel. And that was what the Snapshot Adventures were about, because there was a lot of map making stuff added in 1.8, and I was like, cool, I can make like a story, it'd be really cool. And I did a couple of those, and then it sort of launched me into thinking about doing Thinks Lab, and Thinks Lab has sort of replaced that as a series because it requires a lot of setup and the storyline and the editing and all the writing, and I like it a lot. It's just that the snapshot adventures would take away from the time that I can spend on Thinks Lab. Nurse Guy 55 Stir says, in the Thinks Lab Super Mario episode, was the jumping sound from the game or was it an edit? Actually, it's part of the mod. I thought it was part of the resource pack at first. And then I was trying to do a part before I got into Super Mario World, but I had the Mario blocks in it. But what would happen is it would make the noise when I jumped, so I had to be careful in the lab not to jump. How did I do that? I can't even remember. Oh, yeah. No, actually, I don't even remember how I did it. Oh, yeah. So what I did in the lab, because I didn't want the jumping sound to be when I was in the lab. I wanted to only be when I was in Super Mario World. So I uninstalled the mod while I was in Thinks Lab, and I changed the block texture for one of the blocks so that it would only be that one room that had the Mario blocks in it, and I could jump without making the noise. So yeah, it's part of the mod and not the resource pack. So the next few people noticed something in my Riding Dragons Thinks Lab video, and yes, you guys are right. You are asking, how did you get Kevin to ride a dragon in it? And he was flying around and you weren't controlling him. And no, he was not an NPC because NPCs can't control or ride the dragon. What I did is I actually had my wife come home from work, and I was like, baby, come here. Can you sit down at your computer? And I opened to LAN and put the mods on her computer and taught her how to fly the dragon and said, okay, this is what's gonna happen. And I set the scene for her, and I said, okay, you're gonna fly in here. I want you to dive bomb at all the subscribers, dive bomb them. They're gonna run away from you and just keep going back and forth. And I'm gonna come up behind you, and then I'm gonna stay in front of you, and then we're gonna fly off together. And that's what she did, and I think she did a great job. Abby Studios asks, what are your opinions on Mojang not having a Minecon this year? I personally understand why they are not and sort of expected that to happen, but other people seem really upset. I was expecting it as well. I mean, actually, I wasn't expecting it, but I'm not surprised by it. Because like I said before, it's almost September and they hadn't announced tickets or dates or even a location. And so I was expecting maybe December or something a little bit later than November, as it has been in all the years past. And I'm okay with it because I'd rather them focus on the development of Minecraft and everything and not get sidetracked by rushing to get Minecon going, because I know that they don't have an event planning team or they don't outsource the convention to anybody else. They put it on themselves and they do a great job. And I'd rather them spend a little bit of extra time, which, let's see, November, and I think they said sometime in spring. So we're looking at March, April. So 4 months or 5 months delay for a better conference. I'm all for it. The next couple of people ask about the Dragons episode of Thinks Lab as well, and ask, do they really take that long to hatch? Yes, they do. They actually take, I'd say it's about 10 minutes to hatch the egg, and then I mean from when you put the egg down and right click it to get it started to when the dragon is fully grown, it's about an hour. It's nuts. I know it's hard to believe, but it is true. It does take about an hour. And so I'd say it takes between 10 and 20 minutes to hatch the egg, and between 20 and 40 minutes for the juvenile dragon to grow into a real size dragon so you can interact with it. Nuts. It took forever. And Ariel Datnoff asks, did you respawn the adult ice dragon in the City and Thinks Lab? And yes, I did have to do that. But the thing is, I didn't really spawn in the dragon in any of the worlds or the video because you can't. I tried not enough items. I tried too many items, and even too many items, you can make a dragon spawner cage, but it wouldn't spawn anything. What you have to do is you have to put the eggs down and just wait, because there is no spawn egg for any of the dragons. It's not programmed into the mod. All you can do is put down the dragon egg and wait for it to hatch and wait for it to grow. And took forever. And the worst part, you probably noticed in the video, a bunch of the dragons were gone in the lab. And they just, I don't know where they go. I was watching them, and I was making sure that the ones that I needed grew, and I was able to keep a hold of them. And what I did is I had to hold a piece of raw fish in my hand, and the baby dragon would keep walking toward me, and I had to keep him from going through the walls. They can walk through walls, they can walk past fences. I couldn't keep them in place, and so a few of them disappeared, and I was not going to rehatch them. And in fact, the first time I did it, I went to hatch the eggs, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go walk Kopi. Came back, and the lab was empty. There were no dragons anywhere. I was like, oh man, I had to do it again. And like I said, I had to do it again in the city map. I had to wait for them to hatch. So yes, it took forever, and that's why I made the joke about me being really old. Pink Penugan says, think I downloaded the Noodle Planet. When I got it, my inventory was gone, chest empty, and it didn't feel right. Do you know what happened? Yes, you opened it in 1.7. You have to open the Noodle Planet in 1.8. And what I recommend is wait another week or two. I think that the official release of 1.8 is only like a week away. So once that's out, re-download it and you'll be all set. Ducky10 says, think hearing you say Ducky10 reminds me I have to change my Twitter name, but your Enderman farm doesn't work. Now the Enderman teleport away, so can you make a new one? And yes, I meant to say but and not but. Okay. You might want to recheck your grammar because I don't think you used the right word, but. I said but again. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, so I noticed that myself, and I don't know why. I guess they changed the mechanic, and it may have to do with Endermites. But yeah, I do have to make another Enderman farm. I swear, I really, really need to start using Ender Pearls in the way they were designed to be used. I have a bunch of them, and I should get more. And I notice a lot of people use them, but I just don't. I never even think of it. Brad Armstrong says, think, can I please know what your minion mod is? I'm also new to the Noodle Army. Noodlon, well, welcome to becoming a noodler. We don't have a Noodle Army here. We don't fight anyone. We're all just noodlers, and we're all friendly. But anyway, I don't have a minion mod. It's just a resource pack that I use on my Think Slab series. Lego Man says, here is 10 reasons why I think is secretly a monkey. 1, he loves meat. 2, he can fly. 3, he can breathe underwater. 4, 100. Wait a minute. 30 eyes, lives in a 1-inch sandcastle, has 5 hands, runs super fast. These are not attributes of a monkey at all. Oh, okay, I realize there's something wrong. You're a cow. Wait. Those are not attributes of cows either. You need to study your animals, I think, a little bit more. And speaking of animals, Clara Bear asks, Thinknoodles, is there a camel in your bathroom? No. There's a Kopi dog in the bathroom right now, but not a camel. All right, guys, that's it for this week's Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer next week. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching, and of course, Noodle on!